Serial killers. They horrify and fascinate us. These individuals commit unspeakable acts. They take lives with chilling indifference. We can't help but wonder what goes on in their minds, what drives them to kill again and again. Understanding the psychology of serial killers is crucial. It's not about excusing their actions. It's about preventing future tragedies. By unraveling their motives, we might identify warning signs. We might even be able to intervene before it's too late. But the human mind is complex. The answers are rarely simple. Join me as we dive deep into the minds of serial killers. We'll explore their psychology, their motivations, and the disturbing reality of their crimes. Let's get into it. What makes a serial killer tick? Psychiatrists have identified certain mental disorders often linked to these individuals. Psychopathy is often seen as a hallmark. This disorder is characterized by a lack of empathy, remorse, and guilt. Psychopaths are often manipulative, charming, and superficially normal. But it's not that simple. Not all psychopaths become killers, and not all serial killers are psychopaths. Other disorders are often present, like antisocial personality disorder. This disorder involves a disregard for social norms, criminal behavior, and a lack of remorse. The relationship between mental illness and serial killing is complex. It's never just one thing. It's a perfect storm of factors that come together in a dangerous way. Psychopathy is often seen as the defining characteristic of a serial killer. And it's true. Many serial killers exhibit psychopathic traits. They lack empathy. They don't care about the suffering of others. They're often charming and manipulative, able to blend in with society. But here's the thing, psychopathy alone doesn't make a killer. Think of it like this. Many people have psychopathic traits. They might be ruthless in business, for example, but they would never harm another person. So, what's the difference? It's the combination of factors. Psychopathy might make someone more likely to engage in violence, but it's the presence of other factors, like childhood trauma or a history of violence, that can push someone over the edge. While psychopathy is often linked to serial killers, other mental disorders are also at play. These disorders can influence behavior in complex and often unpredictable ways. Narcissistic personality disorder, for example, is characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. Individuals with this disorder often have an inflated sense of their own worth. This can lead to a sense of entitlement. They may feel they deserve special treatment and privileges. They might believe they're above the law, acting without regard for societal norms or rules, that their needs and desires outweigh the rights of others. This disregard for others can manifest in various harmful ways. Schizophrenia, a disorder that affects a person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly, can also be a factor. This disorder can severely impact one's perception of reality. Some serial killers with schizophrenia experience hallucinations or delusions that drive their crimes. These symptoms can be terrifying and overwhelming. They might hear voices telling them to kill, voices that seem very real to them, or they might believe they're being persecuted. This paranoia can lead to extreme and irrational actions. It's important to remember that mental illness alone doesn't equal violence. Many people with these conditions lead peaceful lives. Most people with these disorders never harm anyone. They often seek help and manage their symptoms effectively. It's the combination of factors, the perfect storm, including environmental stressors and personal history, that can lead to violence. Understanding these complexities is crucial in addressing and preventing such tragedies. Section 5. The McDonald Triad Early Warning Signs or Myth. The McDonald Triad is a controversial theory that has sparked much debate among psychologists and criminologists. It suggests that certain behaviors in childhood, bedwetting, fire setting, and cruelty to animals, are potential warning signs of future violence, including serial killing. But is it accurate? The research is mixed and opinions vary widely. Some studies have found a correlation between these behaviors and later violence, suggesting that children exhibiting these signs might be at a higher risk. However, other studies have found no such link, indicating that these behaviors might not be reliable predictors of future violent tendencies. It's likely that these behaviors are not direct causes of violence, but rather indicators of deeper underlying issues that need to be addressed. Instead, they might be symptoms of underlying problems such as emotional distress, trauma, or environmental factors. For example, a child who is abused might wet the bed due to stress and anxiety, reflecting their inner turmoil. They might set fires as a cry for help or as a way to exert control over their environment, seeking attention or a sense of power. The key is to address the underlying issues, not just the behaviors themselves. Early intervention and support can make a significant difference in a child's life, helping them overcome these challenges. Section 6, Nature versus Nurture, Unraveling the Roots of Evil. This is a complex and often debated topic that delves deep into the human psyche. The age-old question, are serial killers born or are they made? This question has puzzled scientists, psychologists, and criminologists for decades. It's likely a combination of both. The interplay between genetic predispositions and environmental influences is intricate and multifaceted. Some individuals might be predisposed to violence due to their genetics or brain chemistry. Certain genetic markers and brain abnormalities have been linked to aggressive behavior. But environment also plays a crucial role. The surroundings in which a person grows up can significantly shape their behavior and personality. Childhood trauma, for example, is a common thread in the backgrounds of many serial killers. Abuse, neglect, and exposure to violence can leave lasting scars. And exposure to violence can have a profound impact on a child's developing brain. These experiences can alter the way a child perceives the world and interacts with others. It can disrupt their emotional development, their ability to form attachments, and their capacity for empathy. It's like a recipe. Each negative experience adds another ingredient to the mix. You might have all the ingredients for a cake, but the way you combine them determines the final outcome. But if you don't mix them in the right way, you'll end up with something completely different. Similarly, the combination of genetic and environmental factors can lead to vastly different outcomes in individuals. Section 7. Social learning theory. Learning to kill from the world around us. Social learning theory suggests that we learn by observing others. This includes learning aggressive behavior. Children who grow up in violent environments might learn that violence is an acceptable way to solve problems. They might model their behavior after what they see at home or in their community. This doesn't mean that every child exposed to violence will become violent themselves. Many factors come into play, such as individual resilience, the presence of positive role models, and access to support systems. But for some individuals, especially those who are already vulnerable due to genetics or other factors, exposure to violence can be a powerful trigger. Section 8. Biological factors. Are some people hardwired for violence? Research has shown that certain biological factors might play a role in violence. For example, abnormalities in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and decision-making, have been linked to aggressive behavior. Low levels of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood, have also been implicated. But it's important to remember that biology is not destiny. Just because someone has a predisposition to violence doesn't mean they will become violent. Environment and other factors play a crucial role. It's like a loaded gun. The gun itself doesn't fire. It takes an external force to pull the trigger. Section 9. The role of fantasy and ritual in serial killing. For many serial killers, fantasy plays a crucial role in their crimes. They often have elaborate fantasies that involve power, control, and domination. These fantasies can become all-consuming, taking over their thoughts and driving their desire to kill. Ritual is also important for many serial killers. They might have specific ways of selecting, approaching, and killing their victims. They might also engage in post-mortem rituals, such as posing the body or taking souvenirs. These rituals serve a purpose. They might provide a sense of control, satisfaction, or even sexual gratification. They can also be a way for the killer to relive the crime and hold on to the power they felt during the act. Section 10. Conclusion: the never-ending quest to understand the darkness within. The human mind is a complex and often terrifying thing. Understanding the psychology of serial killers is a daunting task. There's no single answer, no magic bullet. It's a combination of factors: mental illness, childhood trauma, biological predisposition, environmental influences. But it's a quest we must continue. By unraveling the mysteries of the criminal mind, we can hope to develop better prevention strategies, identify warning signs, and ultimately save lives. The darkness exists. It's up to us to shine a light on it, to understand it, and to fight against it.